Thank you, Dave, and a warm welcome to anyone joining on the Orient Live Debrief on our YouTube channel. Well, hurts that one, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a similar summation as it was at half time. We started that half so brightly again, got ourselves back into it, created a few more like golden opportunities, and then kind of let it slip. And the taste is disappointment for sure.
We looked so up for it after the half-time break. It looked like after we get the goal that it was only going one way.
It did really look like that. The half-time team talk really galvanised the team, and we got off to a good start. We looked electric like we did it in the first half, and then we get the opportunity, we get the goal, and then there was further opportunities. We didn't take them, and in this game, if you don't take those chances, especially when they're gilt-edged chances like they were, you're susceptible to getting a defeat, and that's what happened. Let's
start with that goal then. In the early stages of the first half, it was a fantastic finish from Idris El Mazouni, and we looked alive.
Yeah, it was a great goal. He picked up the ball in a fairly deep area and just drove with it. There was real intent with that run, and then he opened up the space to have a shot and finished brilliantly. Picked out that far corner really well.
I mean, 47 minutes in, there was a lot of football to be played still, Jabbo. The wind was in our sails.
Yeah, I mean, you equalised so early on after the resumption of the half, and then a really good goal that he ran with so much good intent. He didn't have no other thought in his mind but to drive and shoot. Whereas at times in the first half, we'll drive, then we'll ponder a little bit what we're going to do. He was just direct, executed it perfectly, and then that just galvanised the team, thinking, yes, we're in it. We're going to carry on from here, and then.
We did struggle somewhat for massively clear-cut chances beyond that, though, didn't we?
To an extent, but I'd argue there were at least two really big opportunities for us. Sonny Perkins had a great opportunity, kind of just couldn't get the ball out of his feet, and then his resulting shot was tame. And then the Aaron Connolly chance midway through the second half. But those are big opportunities, and those are the opportunities we're going to need to take if we're going to push upwards on the table.
We're going to see some of those chances hopefully from the second half starting here, and it shows how quickly we did come out. This was straight from the kickoff. You're right. Okay, maybe I was being a bit dour earlier that we did have more chances. Maybe it feels like in the memory now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sonny's touch lets him down ever so slightly there. It kind of he brings it under control, but it's slightly behind him. It kind of kills the opportunity to have the pass to Ballard in the middle, and then his shot's probably a little bit choreographed. But those are opportunities, and we were creating them. But unfortunately, I guess that's the difference between us and Reading today, was that when we had those opportunities, we didn't take them. And then that one real opportunity Reading had in that second half, they took, and they're the ones celebrating as a result.
They certainly are. I mean, we've got to take a bit of positives from this second half performance, though, Jabbo.
We did. We showed great character. That's the one thing we've shown throughout, and Richie has installed in his team. We're never out. We fight to the end. We've done it many times, but in the end, you judge them results, and it's a golden opportunity, and we do get these chances. And if we're going to really climb that table, we need to be clinical. And today we weren't, because this is a great chance, and. On another day, Aaron Connolly would bury that, and he knows that himself. And
I think Aaron probably maybe doesn't know or realise how much time he's got to get it there.
I think he just hits in the wrong, like he's headed it down, whereas it just needed to hit his forehead and go straight. Sometimes as a striker, you're taught to sort of head it down to get the bounce, but on that occasion, in that position, it's just let it hit your head and direct it into the goal. But on a positive, we are creating chances and clear chances. So. We do that for the majority of the season, you'll score more than you miss.
That was a great chance here at the end. Don't know if it looks as though the Reading defender has a little tug at Connolly's ankles. I don't think he's claiming for anything, it's just me. But
I'm not sure, but I think it's one of those unfortunate chances. Connolly's in a tough position while on the floor, and he's tried to get his head to it, and on another day it probably bounces off the back of his head and bounces in, but he just couldn't on that occasion.
Yeah. For sure. Let's take a look at probably the one or of only one or two chances that fell to Reading in the second half, and they put it away, and that's how football goes, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. If you don't take your chances and sort of stomp out the fire from the opposition, they will they will keep their heads up and get a chance, which they did. I mean, it kind of got deflected slightly off Claire there, so maybe if he didn't get the deflection, the goalkeeper might have made a save. But we were open, we were exposed. He had a bit of time to think how he's going to execute his chance, and at times I felt we were just a little bit exposed defensively, which allowed Reading's chances look a lot clearer than they were at times.
Yeah, I think it's something Richie's touched on before throughout the season, but I think it was a good example there of sometimes when we're just not tracking our runners, that initial cross has come in, and I think Claire's done fairly well to get across his man and win that header, but then the ball's bounced around a bit, and we didn't have those players tracking those runners into the box, and by the time that shot comes in, Claire's just doing all he can to try and block it, and unfortunately it's deflected in.
Really unfortunate. Ours turn now then, of course, to next Saturday, early kick-off against Stevenage. They're in electric form. As Dave said, they're having actually their best Football League start ever. Unbeaten in 4, they beat Exeter 2-1 today. It's always a tough test against them boys, but it's going to be a tough one next week.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a great encounter whenever we play Stevenage, to be fair. A little history there. But again, if we're going to climb, we've got aspirations of, going where we need to go this season, then these are the big games we have to be in, and this is where we have to sort of test ourselves and see where we are at this moment in time. Tickets
are available for that one, as you just saw, and your match ticket means that you can come in for the later fixture, which is the Orient women's game against Luton Town Development at 4 o'clock. So make sure you get yourself down to E10 for that one. 2 sets of victories for the O's. What a treat that will be. Make sure you join us for that one. What's your main takeaways from today then, lads?
I think ultimately that to try and preempt what Richie was saying is his post-match interview, is that I think once again we're showing glimpses of being a good team, but we're just yet to turn that into a complete performance. And that will just be I think the main takeaway is that we just need to try and cut out some of those errors, try and capitalise on a couple more of those chances, and then just really take those games by the scruff of the neck, because the opportunity was there on a couple of occasions to really grab hold of that game, and we didn't.
We pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, and we go again.
Yeah, 100%. We created a lot of chances, which is a positive. We're dangerous at time. We just need to be clinical. We have to know when to kill games off. We have to know when we're on top to take those chances, and then kind of control the game. And at times it was still open, even though we started off well and we had a lot of the play. You always felt that there was something in there for Reading, but had we taken those chances, you might have just stomped out the belief and the fire a little bit. But we created so many chances. We still look dangerous. Just I think we need maybe lacking that clinical person just to finish it off at times.
We'll discover that next Saturday. Well, thank you for joining me, lads, and a fine debut for you as well, Elliot. Massive thank you. So, of course, thank you to Jabba Brewery and Elliot Byrne for joining me today. Thank you for your support from wherever you've been watching from. It wasn't to be today, but we move on. Up the O's.